Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today we're going to be talking about Fleetwood Mac and the album Bare Trees. This was the sixth album released by Fleetwood Mac in March of 1972. This was the last album to feature guitarist Danny Kirwan. He was fired while the band was supporting this record. Now, this is Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks' Fleetwood Mac, the Fleetwood Mac that everyone sort of knows and loves and associates with the band. This album was mildly successful, but not a huge record. It really only achieved gold status in '76, probably driven by the success of the commercial success of the later Fleetwood Mac. But as an album, very different from what you'd probably expect if you're only familiar with the Buckingham Nicks years. Danny Kirwan wrote most of the tracks on the album. Christine McVie started to show up a little bit on this album as well. Opening track, Child of Mine, is a song that talks about Kirwan's biological father, who didn't really have anything to do with Danny. He was actually raised by his stepfather. The Ghost, which is the second song on this album, was Bob Welch was a member of the band, and he actually re-recorded the song later. But that's the second song on the album. Homeward Bound is where Christine McVie sort of shows up. She's talking about she doesn't like flying and touring, something that she's talked about quite a bit in some of her even other later tracks. Sunny Side of Heaven was an instrumental song, and so Lindsey Buckingham actually did that song with Lindsey Buckingham later on. There was, based on the cover, the song Bare Trees, John McVie, there was a poem that was used, Thoughts on a Gray Day. One of the singles from the album, a Bob Welch song, Sentimental Lady, again re-recorded later on with Lindsey Buckingham along. So he did that. Danny's Chant, Danny Kirwan using the wah-wah guitar to great effect. And then, of course, Spare Me a Little of Your Love, which was sort of a live song. It's a Christine McVie song that was sort of brought about. They performed it live quite a bit during this period. And it showed up, Johnny Rivers did a version of it, Jackie DeShannon did one, and actually Van Morrison did a little demo for it that Jackie DeShannon used. So there's that, and of course the Thoughts on a Gray Day is the poem that closes the album out, which sort of drives home the cover art, Bare Trees, and sort of that. There were some outtakes that were released in different places, but it's a well-rounded album. Danny Kirwan sort of lives in the shadow of Lindsey Buckingham. Lindsey Buckingham was such a dominant personality, and of course drove the band to so much great commercial success that Danny's time with the band is really overshadowed. But Danny was really a great precursor to Lindsey Buckingham. I don't know that he had the same ideas about arranging, but he did have that sort of layered effect. And so, you can separate Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac as the blues-based band into the Buckingham Nicks band. I think Danny Kirwan is definitely the sort of bridge between the two. And so he knew what he was doing. He knew how to get around in the studio. And so this album really serves as a bridge between the blues-based Fleetwood Mac and then the later sort of pop rock-based version of the band. So I think that's where these albums sort of play in. It's a pleasant listen. It's not a fantastic listen, but it holds up well. It's a decent record, and it's worth a little time. What do you think? Comment down below. Bare Trees by Fleetwood Mac, today's daily record. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Give the old thumbs up. You know the drill. Instagram and Twitter is TommyBurton75. In the meantime, I'll see y'all again tomorrow with another daily record.